what's up today. We're gonna try to work on our legs and our butt. So we're gonna try to do some squats and some leg press. Before we start, we're gonna try to warm up our legs, stretch a little bit, not too much. You don't want the muscles to be too loose. Anyway, we're gonna work on some squats and be a little bit technical, so maybe not go as heavy. So that's kind of our plan. We're gonna start with our quads to warm it up. So we're gonna do the leg extensions, warm those things up, and then we're gonna jump over to squats. Start a little bit light so we get some reps in. After that, we're gonna put the weights on and do a little bit heavy, but not too heavy. We're gonna try to do better form, get down real low, ass to the grass kind of stuff, and really try to target that big booty. Okay, so here we're doing targeting our quadriceps. We're going to try to do this as a warm-up. As you can see, there's not a lot of weight on here. I'm doing that on purpose just to warm it up, not sustain any kind of injuries to my knee or to put too much pressure on it. This bar itself, the hammer strength, is pretty heavy by itself, so you don't need a lot of weight on it. So just control it, going up and down. As you can see, it's light enough for me to just kind of bounce it, but that's not where my interest is. It's really about warming up the muscle, working on the striations. So during this time, I'm going to try to keep my form pretty nice. Focus really the attention on my quads, squeezing it, lowering it with the muscle. Just bang out a couple reps. There's not that much weight on there. You're not really challenging yourself in some tough way. Just moving the muscle so you don't tear anything or you don't injure anything. So we're adding 5 kilograms at a time. At this point, with 10 kilos, it's actually getting fairly tough. You know, it's not really hard, but you know, it's a substantial amount of weight being exercised for this routine here. Once again, that's good enough. The point of it is just not really exhausting your legs at this point. The main routine that we want to focus on is the squats. So we're using this as a warm-up. Of course, we're going to challenge it a little bit, get a little, strain and some pressure on there. But other than that, this is more of a routine warm-up.
This machine a little bit unusual because both legs are separate.
Correct.
I'm used to the machine which has the one. What's it called?
There's positive and negative things about this, but one thing I like about the most is that you're putting an equal amount of work into each quads. The other one, you don't know if the left one's doing a little bit more, if the right one's doing a little bit more.
That's true, that's what I understand right now.
And most of the machine kind of has a bend in the bar a little bit. So one leg is pushing it a little further out, one leg is pushing it a little bit shorter. So it was always a concern for me, but this thing, it actually is equal in the way you push it up as long as you bring it up the same amount.
Because it separates the legs, right?
Correct.
That's true.
It's kind of more like the dumbbell strategy over the
just one leg.
the barbell. There we go. Yeah, sometimes I do that. Kind of get more of the cardio aspect in, doing it separately. Although I don't like the resting period, so what I'll do is maybe like a certain amount of reps on one leg at a time.
Is it good to make the short amplitude? It's better to do the full amplitude till the end.
I would say most of the time you want to do the full range of motion. Yep. So you're challenging all the part of the muscle. And then sometimes, depending on what you need or what your goal is, you can try to do the half rep or limited range of motion. 15 kilograms on each leg. So now it's going to get a little bit heavier for me, but we'll rep it up. Still trying to control it coming down. Full range of motion. Bring it up all the way. exercise is great for building up your quads. You're really going to see the striations and your muscles looking real nice. Okay, that's enough for me. Pow! You can see the quads getting formed. Not the best quads in the industry, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, most people don't have an equal amount of strength or power on both legs, so, or any body parts for that matter. Okay, so it's not really that tough, but you know, you can tell that your body needs oxygen, because you know your quad is a fairly big muscle group. But now we're gonna go to squats and even suffer a little bit more.
And how Arnold say that squat is one of the most meaningful parts because it makes your other parts grow. If you push enough weight on squats, then other parts of your body also will grow because of testosterone, which releases when you do the hard exercises like squats or deadlift. So we need to put as much weight on squats as possible.
Okay.
Let's go.
So I was going to go a little lighter today, but Ifkin says no, because Arnold says don't be a bitch.
Arnold said don't be a bitch.
Don't be a pussy.
Pumping iron.
All right, guys. So we're coming on to our squats. I'm going to put 60 kilograms on to start off with. You know, depending on your level, like, you know, I would start off lower. You know, some of the strong guys, I think they still warm up at this part. I think it's just kind of a standard that people start off with. You don't want to go too heavy. You know, you're going to be prone to injuries and stuff like that. So we do a little warm up on the quadriceps. Our quads should be ready to go, but other body parts, you know, it might not be quite ready for it. So keep the movement real smooth. You know, try to maintain good form. Keep your abs tight, your butt back, so you're not really using your knees to move the weight around. The more you want to use your muscle, the more you're going to be saving it on your joints. And you'll thank me later when your joints aren't hurting. So here we go. So you want to keep your back tight the whole time. You don't want your back arching over, because that's going to put a lot of strain on your low back. So keep your back tight, keep your chest out, and really utilize your butt coming up and down. You know, lower with the muscles, drive it hard coming up while keeping your form real nice and clean.
How about the foot? Foot should be a little bit on the side, right?
The what?
Foot position.
Yeah, so you don't want your foot to be too wide, but you don't want it to be too narrow. Later on, depending on what your goal is, you can play with where your footing is going to be. The wider that you're going to go, you're going to work the more inner part of your legs. The narrow, you're going to work other muscles, but you can be more prone to injuries too, because you're working with a small little space. But, you know, depending on how you want to grow your legs and how you want to shape it, you can adjust different things. But for beginners, just have it a little bit wider than shoulder width, and make sure that you're just bringing your butt back. A lot of guys are doing one of these motions, and all that strain is going to your knees, so avoid that, okay? And you don't want to hunch over, because all that pressure is coming to your lower back, okay? So keep that back tight, work that butt.
How about the heels? Many professionals recommend to squat and concentrate on the heels.
Right.
Put the pressure on the heels. Is
So
it
a lot
correct?
of the people, you know, their daily life doesn't allow them for the elongation of their calves, right? So now your calves are so tight that you're not able to sit like this anymore. So it's really important to stretch a lot and keep that loose, so that you can sit just like this. So if you can't, which most people who are starting out working out is not going to be able to do that. You know, so most people are going to be kind of like this. Their heels are going to come up because this is so tight. Okay? So now you're trying to squat and you're trying to do this, and now you're falling back and doing all kinds of different motions. So you want to keep on stretching your calves out, that you got a stable platform. You want to use the whole foot. You don't want to just use the ball of your foot. You don't want to just use your heel because that's very unstable, and it can create more injuries on your foot. So work on your flexibility, that you can come down straight like this without your heel being lifted. A lot of the guys in the beginning stage, when they're down about this much, their heel lifts up this much because they can't put that all the way down. So work on your flexibility. Got it?
Yes, Cap.
Keep the chest out a little bit more. Stick it out. There you go. Take the pressure off from your lower back. You're still arching over a little bit, so chest out like you're Superman. Better. Still arching down at the last point a little bit. There you go. Try to keep your butt out a little bit more. Push your butt out back as you're coming down. Better. Good. You can see that he's going really low, and that's really good for all kinds of development, but you want to kind of be careful about your knees too.
I see many athletes, they don't do squats till the end.
Yeah.
They do just till the 90 degrees.
Correct.
What does it mean?
The 90 degree is really a safe way to not really injure your knees. And also, athlete just needs that burst power, so they don't need to go down all the way. They're doing it more for functional reasons. You know, but for people who want to build their bodies and people that want to create that bubble butt, it's important to go down lower. Now, if you really stacked on the weight high, don't go down really low because the chance of getting hurt is really way increased at that point.
So first is, if you go down more, it's good for your butt stretch and butt growth.
Yep.
Okay, it's been said. Let's go with the bigger weights.
Okay. Make sure your knees are not going outwards. Try to keep them more in the same, a little bit better, but your knees are still working out outside, so bring your butt back out more. Drive it. Good job. Keep your chest out. Protect that lower back. Nice. So this is the point. Now, if I start adding more weight to this now, it's going to get a lot more floppier, and also I'm probably going to put on a weight belt if I'm going to go a little bit higher.
Yeah, I think squats, actually on legs totally, is not favorable exercise for most of the athletes. Everybody whom I know, they hate squats, they hate doing legs, but we need to do it. If you want to grow, you need to do squats.
Yep.
We need testosterone.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about the belt? Do you use it only on big weights, or it's okay to use it from the like 60 kilograms from the warm-up weights?
Weightlifting is kind of an interesting sport or exercise where everybody has something different to say about everything. You know, that includes everybody has different muscular growth structure. They have different kind of ways that what works for them doesn't work for another person. There's just so many variables, right? Personally, for myself, I don't like wearing the belt. I don't like wearing straps. I don't like doing all that kind of stuff until that becomes a limiting factor that I can't push heavier weights. So up to a certain weight, up to a certain reps, I'm gonna do everything just normally, right, without any kind of assistance. But as I'm going to higher weight, I don't want to get injured. I don't want to limit, maybe to getting another 2-3 reps more by not having this. So when the weight gets heavy or something gets really just impossible to hold, then I'm going to put on straps, or I'm going to put on the belt like this. It's protecting my low back. Another good thing about the belt is that it controls your core. And then when the core is stronger, you're going to be able to push harder. Okay? A lot of people just don't know how to breathe and hold their abs while they're doing their exercise. So having the belt on is going to be a huge thing to help their core out. And for me, I don't have that perfect core either. So for me, it's a good thing to do especially when I'm going heavy. So here we go. So that was 14 reps, 120, another PR. As I was doing about 6 reps, felt kind of tired. I was telling the mind, ooh, can I even do 10? Well, once I got to 10, I thought I could do 2 more. Once I got to 12, I knew I could do 1 more. Once I got to 13, I said, let's give it hell, give it 1 more. Got 14 in. That's how you push yourselves. Stick that chest out more. There you go. Don't let your lower back do all the work. There you go. Push. Good. Look up the whole time. Nice job. Good. Keep it going. You're a strong Ukrainian bear. Go. 2 more. Up. Boy, 1 more. Nice job.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Feels great. I feel testosterone coming.
Rushing through your veins.
I feel like squats make you stronger overtly. Not like just legs. It's like pushing everything. If you have not strong back, it also train your back. Engaging every muscle and core too. And actually, I feel like if you watch up, your chest going back, right?
Yeah.
And because your triceps also going back a little bit.
Right.
When you up your head, your tricep going back, and all the weight going back a little bit more.
So that's a little tip for today. If your form is a little bit slacking and you feel like you're tilting over a little bit during your squats, tilt your head up, look up toward the ceiling, and keep your back straight, which is going to help your low back to stay more in a correct position, which is going to translate into more work being done on your glutes and your quads and your legs. So that's the hint for today. In everybody's lifting moment, there comes a time where working out really does well, like your body's responding that well to it, you're growing, you feel strong and all that kind of stuff, and then there comes a time where it just kind of crashes, you can't get the good workouts in, you're trying to eat well, you're trying to sleep well, but it's just not working. And you just need to know, sometimes your body condition just plummets depending on what you did before. Sometimes you're dealing with something, some stress and everything like that. So A lot of people cave in and they quit working out for a while, but don't do that to yourself. If you need to take a couple of days off, take a couple of days off, come back in the gym, at least work out 30-40 minutes or whatever, see how your body feels, take another day off, and then just eventually that's going to go away. So for me, I'm kind of dealing with that little pivot point. It's kind of an interesting thing for me lately where my strength is really good, but my conditioning is low. So I feel super tired, I feel like I'm run down a little bit, but my strength is good. So I've never gone through that in the 6-7 years that I've been lifting. So, you know, you learn more things about yourself, and I think you just got to keep at it, stay strong. You know, even if you got to get the 30-minute workout, just get it in there, because doing it will make that much more of a difference. Because if you're not doing it, your body's going backwards, and you're going to sacrifice all the gains that you put so much energy and time into building.
Good speech.
Okay.
I think you can go for the TED Talk with this speech.
TED Talk?
Yeah.
You know, lifting is a journey that you can only push yourself. It's me, myself, and I at the gym. Okay? So don't give up on yourself. Every day is a moment you can grow, whether spiritually or mentally or physically, you know? And that's TED Talks for you today. Alright guys, I've never gone this weight before. 130 kilograms. Let's see what I can do. Oh, I'm loving it. Oh, yeah. That's a PR right there. Woo. It's rough.
Is it sushi which gave you those?
I don't know if it's sushi
powers?
or something like that, but I'm spinning right now. Lack of oxygen in my system, you know, adrenal glands, everything's kind of flowing, getting lactic acid in my system. I mean, it's a dizzy spell, but I'm happy with what I put up. Oh.
One more.
Oh. Wow. Gets heavy in a hurry. I can tell myself I'm not going down as low. I kind of got that fear of like maybe not being able to come back up. So anyway, 143 times. That's my PR. So I'm happy.
That was good.
It was. I kind of got like a headache now. We finished off doing squats. We went heavy there, but we're gonna go over to leg press and just kind of eliminate the little muscle fiber that's left. We're gonna go even heavier with leg press. It's a little bit safer way of trying to exhaust your legs and stimulate growth. The growth factor in itself is less than squats, but leg press is another way to just really stack on the weight and put a lot of pressure on your legs and promote growth that way. So we're gonna slap a lot of plates on here. These plates, the red ones, are 25 kilograms each. So there's already 75 on this side. I'm gonna put another 15 here. That's like 90 on one side. Put another 90 on this side. It's probably another 50 some kilograms just for the dry weight. So you can see that already we're pushing a fair amount of weight. Actually, hell with it. I'm gonna put another 15 on both sides. So for this exercise, it's really important to focus on your leg. When you're bringing it down, lower it with your muscle, not with gravity alone, because gravity alone, you're going to put a lot of impact on your knees and your joints and stuff like that, and your form is going to get messed up. It's a good way to injure yourself. One really important thing with the leg press is that when you're all the way up, you never want to open up all the way. It's super bad for your knees. You're going to ruin your knees that way. Another thing is when you're coming down, you know, you want to go about 90 degrees. You don't want to come all the way in and then have your low back kind of crunched up a little bit. Keep your form tight and just put all that pressure on your legs. It's a great exercise to really beat up your leg. Low, 90 degrees, there you go. Keep your back straight. There you go. I think your legs are pretty strong. It's just with the squats, you were just kind of uneasy about. It's 250, about 300 kilograms.
How does it calculate comparing to the free weights?
It's really hard to compare like an apple to orange because squats is pretty universal in any gym. Like the bar, the weight can vary a little bit, but you're never going to vary more than like 5 kilograms, right, altogether. This, the angle, the machine, the plate itself, all matters. So you can never do a fair comparison from one machine to another machine. You can only compare fairly with that specific machine. So 1 week you do it, next week where are you? But you can't come to another gym. Even though they look like the same machine, they can vary a little bit. You know, with this, you can tell the angle that you're pushing is maybe like 30 degrees, maybe 45. So you're probably only pushing half of this weight up. Like if this machine was like completely 90 degrees and you're pushing upward, you probably couldn't put on this much weight.
So if it's 300 on the free weight, it's comparing to like 150, 140?
150 is kind of my guess. Yeah, it's not a science. Don't quote me on it. Some people can say that's bullshit, whatever. Don't quote me on it. Okay, it's just a guess.
But it makes sense. You're doing like 140 today on squats,
right.
So it's probably
right.
the
and
same
on a
weight.
Machine, there's more stability, so you're going to be able to push a little bit more anyway. So I think I'm pretty well in that round ballpark. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I'm not a rocket scientist. Okay, I'm just a biologist. Get that lever down right away. There you go. Get that good 90 degrees. Drive it. Good. Keep your back straight. Keep your head back. There you go. Much better. Nice job. Push. Good. 2 more. Get it. 1 more. Nice. Look at that. Little bonus work. Oh yeah.
I forgot about leverage.
It's okay. You got more. 1 more rep because of your forgetfulness.
Right.
You're gonna grow that much more because of it. Or at least suffer that much more. Yeah, there we go.
Now will be the last exercise for today, as a third exercise for today. We're gonna work out the back of our legs, hamstrings, the leg biceps, so called. Let's do it.
The hamstrings A lot of times we do the squats, we do the leg press and everything like that, and we really neglect the back part of our leg, right? So a lot of people have good development on their quads and stuff like that, but the hamstring is a lacking point. Balance is always super important. People who have good balance gets less injured, their movement is better, so we want to always balance it out. So it's always important and imperative that you do the opposite stuff too, you know, whether it's the same day or on a different day. You know, some people who just do biceps, like their biceps will be huge, but their triceps are lacking. So, you know, the balance is always the best, right? Even in nature, when there's balance, there's harmony. As soon as the balance is kind of erupted or like disrupted, then everything kind of gets out of whack. So, you know, we want to create balance for more than one reason, for, you know, longevity for ourselves, for not getting injured, looking proportional, all that kind of stuff. When we're doing this exercise, we want to make sure that we're only using the hamstring. A lot of people, they're using different movement, they're borrowing, you know, muscles from other groups to help with this exercise, you know. So when we're doing this, we want to isolate everything just to the hamstring. So it's important to hold our abs tight and keep our butt down all the way, and really just kind of get that squeeze on their hamstring. And then even when you're coming up, fight that weight with the hamstring. So while you're going and squeezing it all the way to the end, you're contracting that hamstring, and then when you're elongating again, you're using that hamstring to lower the weight back down. Okay? So keep that ab tight, so your core is not helping in that aspect.
So you mean the go a little bit faster on the active phase, and on the passive phase slow down, right?
On the active phase, no matter what you're doing, you can kind of go with the explosive route. You know, you can go up, you can push hard and everything like that. But when you're coming back down, you know, control with that weight and let that muscle suffer. And it's just really effective.
Okay, I found my phone. Why? Okay. It's also important to find that comfortable position so you feel that muscle which you're doing. And sometimes you just need to do 5-6 times when it's a new machine, and to find the comfortable position and to find where that muscle engaged the most. So that is also meaningful.
Today we got our leg workouts in. You know, as aerobic wise, it probably wasn't the most intense, but weight wise, we challenged ourselves quite a bit. As you can tell, you know, from when we're doing the quadriceps to the squats to the leg press, you can tell the energy level kind of just going up, then coming down, and at the end, we're just kind of just pushing ourselves way past the point, you know, where most people want to give up. Anyway, we wanted to kind of just give you a little bit of hints and clues of what to do, what not to do, and hopefully this was a little bit of an inspiration for you guys to just get out there and, you know, do the body good.
And for the last word, we would like to know about you. We would like to know what do you think about this workout. If it was interesting for you, if it was informative for you, let us know what do you think in the comment section. So next video we can make it better and make it more informative, right?
Sure. And if it wasn't informative enough, sorry.
Sorry.
Peace, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You